A wave-frame grenade launcher is a great choice of weapon if you want to take out multiple enemies. But what if we used an exotic one? Hello, my name is ERATTIC and today I'm going to do an exotic review on the Dead Messenger. If you see anything you like in today's video, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe for more. I believe we are on the cusp of 300 subscribers, which is fantastic, but our goal is 500 subs. I'm hoping you'll be the one that gets me there. To obtain this weapon, you need to pick up the Season of the Risen seasonal quest, where you'll need to travel to the Helm back and forth to do some PsyOps battleground missions. Once you've done a couple, you'll then be asked to do the exotic mission Vox Obscura. Doing this upon completion will grant you the weapon. Doing the master version later on will grant you the catalyst to work towards. Be sure to check my run on the master version if you haven't already to see what that looks like, because it gets pretty wild. So I'm first going to look at the Dead Messenger's perks and then show you some gameplay of how it performs. Let's begin. So first, looking at the Dead Messenger's exotic perk, we have Trinary Vision. One shot handheld grenade launcher. Projectiles release a fan of 3 energy waves on contact with the ground. So just like a normal waveframe launcher there, it shoots one straight line across the floor when it comes into contact with the ground, and then at a 45-degree angle with 2 other lines on either side of the one in the middle, we have 3 energy waves come out. The second exotic perk we have is the Fundamentals. Change this weapon's damage type, cycling between Solar, Arc and Void. So this is pretty self-explanatory. It's just exactly like Borealis and Hardlight, where you can switch to any element you want to defeat your enemy. We also have the Dead Messenger's Catalyst, which is the icing on the cake for this weapon. You are granted Turnabout, which is a brand new perk to Destiny 2. Using this weapon to break the shield of a combatant or a guardian using their super will grant you an overshield. From a PvE perspective, this is great because it gives us that extra survivability on top of whatever we are running in our build to take out multiple enemies in an easier and more rewarding manner with an overshield. For PvP, however, I am unsure how good this interaction is, but I assume that this is much harder to pull off due to people always being in the air, presumably roaming with their supers until they reach the ground when they're close to you, which in some cases might be too late. However, if you are able to get this off in the middle of a standoff, I should imagine the fight could turn in the tide of your favour quite quickly. So moving on to the gameplay and thoughts I have about this weapon, as it states in the Catalyst, the fastest ways you can obtain the completion of the Catalyst is via defeating enemies in either PsyOps Battlegrounds, Throne World and the exotic mission itself. The Catalyst is split into 3 objectives of getting a certain amount of kills between Arc, Solar and Void. So you will end up in the background seeing if I've got enough kills with each element and changing to whatever corresponding element I need to get kills with. I chose the Battlegrounds because of the number of enemies there are, but any of the ways listed are most likely just as sufficient. Even if you're not doing any of those activities, you should be able to get this nice and quick due to how this weapon works anyway. This is definitely one of the better exotics in the game because of how well wave launchers perform in the meta right now compared to grenade launchers, other archetypes, and how they work to using other special weapon types, which is more or less focused on single target damage. I believe it's the best exotic compared to the Hardlight and Borealis that take advantage of the fundamental perk because of its age. This exotic is roughly only a month old and brand new pretty much still to the game, which is built today's style of how Destiny 2 works. The other 2 exotics are not terrible in that aspect, but the way they are designed for Destiny 2's much earlier days, these exotics wouldn't be the first thing I think about using at high tier content, as where I might consider using Dead Messenger for something. You could argue differently for PvP, but that is not my expertise. Speaking of higher tiers of content ran by more adept players, I believe this is a great speedrunning weapon, because it can still be paired with something like an Eager Edge Sword to combine fast movement with fast ad clearing, just because of how much damage each of the waves can do. Besides your grenade, it helps clear waves almost mind-numbingly, and if you're breaking an elemental shield on an enemy, you could be given that overshield as well that helps keep that consistent speedrun alive without losing your chances of not being dead. This works amazing right now too, with mods like Explosive Well Maker to create those wells in any element you want, as long as it corresponds to whatever your subclass is. So Void 3.0's builds with this thing is great in combination like Font of Might, Explosive Well Maker, Reaping Well Maker, Bountiful Wells and probably much more. This leads on for future seasons to come with Arc and Solo 3.0 reworks as well, because the exotic is going to be extremely viable for the subclass builds because it can go to any element. So that is the end for today. I'm going to let this strike footage play out where I show off the Dead Messenger with the Callus and how it performs till the end. Thank you so much for the support on the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.